Hey everyone, how are you doing today? It is a dismal looking Wednesday out there. Yeah, it just does not look all that hot. But you know what? That's okay. It's all good because it's warm inside and it's spring and there's grass out there. Even if it's going to have a little bit of snow on it in a bit, the days are getting longer, the sun is coming out, it's getting warmer. I can live with it all. So, I don't talk a lot about politics on here because it has nothing to do with writing. But I'm going to make it about writing today because I need to talk about what's going on and why writing is so important and why it's such a component of what we do here in America. So, people in the Ukraine right now are fighting. They're fighting for their freedom. They're fighting for their freedom of speech, for their freedom to carry a weapon, for their freedom to assemble, their freedom to live their life the way that they decide to do, the freedom to vote in the leader or leaders that they want, etc., etc. And the thing that scares me is that it's unlikely they're going to win. I'm watching President Zelensky, and I am thoroughly impressed by him. But he is doing absolutely the right thing. He is taking care of everything he can. He is keeping people motivated. He is doing his job. But he's also setting himself up to be a martyr. And watching that makes my heart cry. So you'll see my little picture for this week's video has the sunflowers down the side. And that's because, I have Slavic grandparents. My Hungarian grandparents, they come from Hungary. My dad was born in Hungary. And the place where they were born is not really all that far from the Ukraine. The culture is not all that different. The foods, the way that people talk, the way that they live, it's not all that different. And that scares me. And for all those people who say, well, Russia's so far away, it doesn't have anything to do with us. Yes, it does. And I hate to break it to you, but if you look at a map of America and you look up in the top left-hand corner, you'll note that Alaska is up there, up above Canada, and there used to be a land bridge there. And while it's not a land bridge anymore, it's easily navigable by a ship. Russia's right there. It's right there, folks. People walked across. Yeah, it was a while ago, but they walked across. Russia is not as far away as you think. I am scared for the Ukrainian people, and my heart bleeds for them. What can I do? There's nothing I can do. I've given what few dollars I have in appropriate ways. There's the Airbnb. People are sending money to my military, not military, but my reenactment groups get armor through people in the Ukraine, and they're sending money to the armorers so that they can build anti-tank pieces and stuff. So, yes, I've donated what little money I have, but I don't have a lot of money. And so what do you do when you don't have a lot of money? You're stuck with hopes and prayers, which I'm sorry. Yeah, people are always in my hopes and prayers, but boy, it sure feels inadequate. But I'm a writer. I write, therefore I am. If you want the most revolutionary, the most seditious, the most terrifying thing to people like Putin is an educated person. And you get education through writing. And so I'm going to write. I'm going to write in honor of the Ukrainians, I'm going to talk about the Ukrainians because they can't talk for themselves. I'm even going to talk for the Russians. I watched a video that got taken down on TikTok very, very quickly, of a young lady who lives in Russia in one of the big cities, and she's in her apartment and she's in tears because she had policemen show up at her door and tell her that if she doesn't take her TikTok down, she's going to go to jail for 20 years because she's a terrorist, because saying anything against Russia is terrorism. If the people of Russia say anything negative about Putin, about the actions that are going on, about the war that he has started, they can go to jail for 20 years. They are branded terrorists for speaking. For all we sometimes make comments about how the freedom of speech in this country, in America, is going down, it's not Russia. Okay? This is horrifying. I feel bad for the people in Russia who didn't want this, because it seems to me that probably that's the majority of them. But what we have to do is keep talking, keep writing, keep being examples, because the only way that they can get out from underneath Putin and the sanctions is to stand up to him and take him out of power and elect somebody to go in. Because no matter how poor their electoral choice is, it's going to be better than a dictator. Yeah. So that's that. In the process of cleaning my room, I refound The Practical Housekeeper. This is a book, and it's a very old book. I'm going to pull it out here. This one was published in 1901. It says 5,000 practical receipts and maxims, illustrated with over 200 engravings. And it's got everything in it. And I'm lucky enough that my copy has cutouts from newspapers and handwritten things in it. And I love this. The front one here is lemon sponge pie and how to make French mustard. You can't beat this stuff. The Practical Housekeeper starts with Thoughts and Maxims on Housekeeping by Florence K. Stanton, who is the one who put this book together. And she starts with talking about, I'll do a little reading here. It has been said that Americans in general have little attachment to home. Often, indeed, it is the domestic comfort so prized in England, absent from the abodes even of the wealthy in our land. May not this undeniable fact, and the roving propensity of young people in this country, be attributable to the circumstances that girls, whose condition exempts them from servitude, are brought up wholly without reference to home duties? Even those who may depend on their own labor for a subsistence are taught some trade, or superficially qualified as teachers, or instructed in various branches of needlework, while they know little or nothing of house matters, though such knowledge would enable them to command an independence. It is not alone the wife and mother who should be skilled in domestic affairs. Every girl who has emerged from childhood is liable to be called on to take charge of a house. If the mother is bedridden or deceased, why should the father of daughters 16 or 18 years old be compelled to look elsewhere for a housekeeper and entrust the management of the hands to the hands of a stranger? Now, admittedly, it's a bit dated. Boys and girls alike should be learning this stuff. But this contains recipes and how to run a household. And one of the books that I have in my queue to work on, and it may in fact be the next cookbook after the van life one, is an updated version of The Practical Housekeeper, made for today. How do you know what to buy for your first apartment? How do you know how many plates, how many forks, how much bedding, what size, what's the difference between a queen size and a double bed? I know people who are adults who don't know the answer to these questions. And so I'm going to not rewrite, but I'm going to make a version of this book that is for today's world here in America, because we need it. Not everybody, most people are not learning these things at mom's knee anymore or grandma's knee. And so, yeah, that's a cool thing. I'm very happy about that. What else is going on? There was something else I was going to tell you about. Oh, the Pilgrim Progress Challenge. April, we have something called the Pilgrim Progress Challenge, which you can find links to on my Facebook page. I'll put it up on my author page for everybody. Make sure you've got it. But what it is a group of medieval people are walking to Canterbury together alone. I know that sounds kind of odd, but the idea is that you walk on your own. All your steps count. So if you're a Fitbit wearer like me, you just jot down your number of steps at the end of each day, and away you go. If not, you keep track of how much you're walking, and you track it, and then you write down your amounts, you update it, and the idea is to walk 90 miles, which is the distance from and now I have to go and look it up because I have forgotten. Excuse me. The Canterbury Pilgrimage. People went from London to Canterbury to visit the shrine of Thomas Becket to pray and seek help for their problems. Some would come on foot, and others who might ride on horseback. We know about this because of Chaucer's lovely Canterbury Tales, which are not finished, I should add. But it's a cool idea, and I'm hoping to do it in garb, minus the shoes. I'm going to wear proper hiking boots because I don't want to hurt myself. But anybody who would like to join in, there's no monetary value to this. It's just for fun. But if you'd like to walk to Canterbury with me and a dozen others, take a look on my Facebook page, and you can join us. This is last year was my first year doing it, and they send you these lovely little booklets, and you get to write down your walking log. This is last year's log. And it's got some pictures and information, a little bit about Chaucer, pictures of last year's winners and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely a good way to get back in shape for the upcoming fair season. So, yeah. Just a note also, I will be selling cookbooks at New Hampshire Renaissance Fair. So if you're going to be there, you can look for me or for my group, because I'll be doing volunteer stuff. So I may not be the person actually there, but I will sign some books and have them on and ready. And if you want personally signed books, if you want me to be there and do a dedication or something, I'm sure people could find me. Anyway, that's where we're at today. Please keep the people of the Ukraine in your mind, and go out and be seditious. Exercise your freedom of speech and your freedom to assemble and your freedom to write and to think. It's really important. Yes, it is. See you next week.